Okay, today we've got an older model Mercedes that has the typical cloudy headlamps that you can barely see out of. And what makes this one different, what makes this different and what we're going to do today is the fact that it has been clear coated, and the normal process that we use with Acrylic-Werks to just wipe it on and wipe it off will not actually work because of the clear coating. So Mark's going to take you through a couple of different steps that you have to do to actually sand and wet sand this to get the clear coat off, and then you'll apply Acrylic-Werks to keep it in a like new condition. This will take a lot longer than normal, but it is a a permanent solution versus paying up to $2,000 for Mercedes headlamps. So Mark's going to show you what's going on with this, some of the processes. We're not going to show you 10 minutes of sanding because that would be boring to you, but we will show you the before and after certainly of this process using Acrylic-Werks and the sanding process.
I think, Wayne, what we can do on this is we'll separate it. I'll show you this part, the cleaning, identifying what you're looking at, and then we'll mask it, and then we can pause it, and then I'll come back and start the sanding process, and then I think we can videotape the sanding process. It goes fairly quick once you start working the sanding through 3 steps of sanding. But first off, let's get everybody up to speed on what we're looking at here. And when you run your finger down this, you can literally run and you can feel a hard edge where this up here has peeled away over time, and this down here is still that messed up clear coat that needs to be removed. Unfortunately, with this process, you're going to have to sand it. So the kit that I'm using is a 3M kit. It's available in most stores for about $19.95, but you have all your sanding discs that you need to get the job done. So let's go ahead and do a simple wipe down, get the dirt and dust out of the way, and then we're going to mask this off. So all I'm going to do is just take some basic water, just dampen my washcloth with it, and all I want to do is just wipe off. Just wipe off the dirt and dust around the area.
You can actually hear the coating as he goes over it.
And very, very important is that when you mask, you layer this twice over the area, simply because you do not want to risk any chances of your disc hitting your paint and causing a problem. So just take the time and work it around, and probably just, and since it's a round oval headlamp, don't break off too many big pieces. Just sort of go around it in the same fashion so you can peel it up as it's like it's one piece when you're done.
Okay, I'm going to let him finish this and then we'll come back and start the sanding process.
There we go.
Okay, Mark is finished double masking the lamps here. You want to do that because you do not want the sand disc to hit your paint job around the edges of your lamps, or you'll take the paint right off. So he's actually double masked it, and we'll be using 3 different grits of sandpaper, a 500, an 800, and a 3000. The 5 and 8 are going to be dry sanding, and the 3000 is going to be wet sanding.
Yeah.
And talk about the pads.
What 3M supplies you with on the kit is you have the disc itself, you have the soft pad, and then you have your sandpaper, your sanding disc. This is the 500 grit. It's a dry sand. So you just want to start at the top, don't over pressurize it, and just follow the contour of the lens itself.
You can see some of that dry clear coat already being taken off by this 500 grit sandpaper. So it doesn't take long, you don't do it real hard, but it will eat away at what's making this lens so milky.
still see some of the coating down here. You can feel around up in here and see that it's coming off pretty good.
You can see how close he's getting to the edges, so that's why you want to make sure you double mask your paint job, or else you'll, again, take paint right off of your car, and that's not what we want to do here. We're just trying to correct the lamp, not repaint a car.
Have a nice uniform cloudy surface. That'll let you know that most of the surface has been removed. And you can see the light abrasion marks that have been left by the 500 grit, and that's what you're going to move up in grades in order to just remove the scuff marks and gradually bring the lens back to clear.
Okay.
I think that's good.
Okay.
So
Mark is finished with the 500 grit. We're going to move up to the 800. Before we do that, he's going to remove a lot of the dust and the stuff that the 500 grit paper got off, so that we can start on the 800 grit.
And I want to check and make sure there's no remnant of that clear coat left behind, which I don't feel.
Now, obviously with the 500 there are some abrasion marks, but the 800 and the 3000 will get those out, and then we'll go back at the end with the Acrylic-Werks.
Okay, that's done. And I've got the 800 already loaded. And this again is a dry sand, and this is just designed to take out the abrasions of the 500. You want to do your very best to keep your pad as level as to the lamp as you can instead of putting more tension on the ends. So just try to keep it as level as you can and use the softness of the pad to work around the lens's design. Thing is, don't panic. These are all looking cloudy, but That's the way they're supposed to look as you get them cleaned up. They are plastic. Okay, we're gonna switch over and you can go ahead and pause it again, Wayne. We'll get it ready for the next step.
Okay. Mark has now wiped off the residue from the 500 grit and he's getting ready to wet sand on a 3000 grit. Let's show you the rag that we used just to wipe off what was coming off of there, and you'll see there's a lot of yellow, which is the old clear coat that was on the lenses. So it's definitely taking it off, and now we're going to do a wet sanding with a 3000 grit pad.
And on this one, you want to just dampen the lens and bring your 3000 grit into it and just
You can see it really working already. I can see the reflector now for the first time in a long time. So it really is working to clear it up. It does take a couple steps, but the results are a lot better than having to spend thousands of dollars on new lamps. So yeah, that's really starting to come through now. Again, a little bit of water on the lamp itself, and then your 3000 grit pad right on it, just like you've done before. Wow. You can get in there and see, you can actually see the reflector and everything now. It's becoming crystal clear. Once you apply the Acrylic-Werks on it, it will be like a new lamp. There you go, reflector and all sorts of other goodies.
I hit it again.
One more time.
And don't forget, this step is really sort of finishing up the lamp and getting all the abrasion marks out of it that I put in with the 500 and the 800.
Yeah, you don't want to leave any abrasion marks in. We'll show you in a minute why you don't want to do that. But you want to get it as smooth as possible so that you don't have anything that actually gets on there. If you order you something besides Acrylic-Werks, which we obviously don't recommend, it won't have any place to sit and turn yellow and fade like the other stuff did.
Okay, Wayne, you can pause it.
All right, Mark is now finished with the 3000 grit wet sand. He's going to basically clean the lenses and show you the final step, which involves polishing, and then we will actually use the Acrylic-Werks as a final step, if you will. But he's taking just a wet rag and cleaning off all of the debris, and you can already see that the lenses are relatively clear already. We're not finished yet, though. The next step is going to be taking a polishing pad with a little bit of the Acrylic-Werks.
Now, typically, Wayne, when you get your 3M kit, what they're going to do is they're going to supply you with your 500, your 800, your 3000 grit, and they're going to supply you with a waffle pad for polishing. What they want you to do is they want to go in with a 3M polishing compound. This is what we don't want to use, and the reason we don't want to do this is we've just taken the time to perfect the lens, and we do not want to put new abrasion marks that will allow moisture to settle back up into that lens in the future and create new oxidation relatively quick. So,
because any compounding will have abrasives in
yes,
it, and
any
the
compound
Acrylic-Werks
of any kind will. The Acrylic-Werks is non-abrasive. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and set this aside. We're going to dampen the pad, and we're going to dampen the lens. And now we're going to take acrylic, put it on here. Just smear it around. Don't make too much of a mess. And now we just want to start polishing. Okay, when you're done polishing with the machine, I do like to give it one final polishing by hand. So I'll just flip my rag over. Get a little damp. A little bit of polish on the rag. And I'll give it one finish. Just push your rag up inside the corners and get it all out of the edge, which will be very easy. Okay, put my rag around. Just give it one quick damp wipe down.
And that's basically putting the water sheen on it like we normally do. And then just take a buffing towel and buff it out. Wow.
Wayne, what I'll have you do is we're going to move the chair out of the way here.
Yeah, I want to go to the
You're
other
going to
side.
back it up so you can see both lamps. And then I'll unmask it on the next step, and I'm going to show you how to clean, how easy it is to clean up the splash out or the mist that gets everywhere, which is really a pain if you're using compounds or anything like that. But typically, matter of fact, we'll do it right now. Just take your damp cloth, and everywhere that you spritzed, you can just simply wipe it off. That easy. No heavy waxes to build up or get off of there. Everything comes off as simple as it got on. Just wipe it down. Okay, and let's unmask this so we can really see how nice this turned out.
Okay.
Now
Wow.
what we want to do is just wipe down that excess right around here. Wipe up all the adhesive. Now this is really easy enough for anyone to do. It's a very simple process. Just take your time. Don't get in a rush. Make sure your masking work is your most important job. And Wayne, I think it'd only be fair to let everybody sort of see
What the other side looks like that we haven't done
what the other side
yet.
looks like, and I'll get out of the way so you can back it up.
Yeah, this took about 25 minutes to do from masking from the very first time we started to now. So that's the lenses as they are now. You can actually see, you know, bulbs and reflective areas in them versus as we move over to the other side, this is what they look like a few minutes ago. So we went from this to this.
Wayne, can you back up and sort of let it pan in and get all of it at one time?
Just want to get this. So there you go. Left hand side is clear and done. Right hand side still needs a lot of work on it. So that is Acrylic-Werks on a Mercedes lens that has been clear coated. Any other car or manufacturer that uses clear coating, you can use this process on.